welcome to another field trip. Today we're going to Katelyn and Zack's house for an initial consultation. This is the first time we're meeting them and hearing about their project. Hello, hello!
Hi!
I'm Mitch.
Katelyn, come on
Nice to meet you.
Hey, how you doing, Zack?
Hi, Katelyn and Nancy.
Nice to meet you. A little background before you really judge the place. This is the house that I grew up in. Half of our stuff is in it, and it's just a mess right now.
The plot thickens. Katelyn and Zack just moved back from Charlotte to Katelyn's childhood home. Her dad's about to move out, and they're about to renovate.
Our neighbors next door have a very similar layout, and one of the things we want is open concept. I know everybody does, but
Great.
they've just pretty much knocked out these 3 walls, and I still feel like that's not quite open enough for me. I really want a lot of light in the these main living areas.
Okay.
Most of the light, the way the sun is, it goes from like that corner over there, and so it's really just a lot lighter on the back.
Yeah.
Another reason why I feel like it feels so dark and cramped and chopped up in here is the 8-foot ceilings.
I'm glad Katelyn identified the 8-foot ceilings here. As a room grows larger and the ceilings stay at 8 feet, they feel lower and lower because the human eye looks at space in a proportional way. When renovating homes, resale is oftentimes a huge consideration. With an 8-foot ceiling, that can really limit the future resale potential of a home. So it's really important when pouring money into a home with an 8-foot ceiling that you look at opportunities to raise that ceiling. Luckily, in this case, Katelyn and Zack have an attic above their main living areas because they have a walkout basement below.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
I love it.
yeah.
Cool. I love it when someone knows what they want. I think you know what
I
you
do,
want.
but I also definitely want ideas. I always grew up thinking it was a 2-story house. It's technically a 1-story ranch and then a basement.
Before we go too far, I'm going to show you the layout for the upstairs main level. You can see here that the main living areas are on the front of the home, separated by a hallway from the sleeping areas on the back. We just entered the home from the front porch through the front door into the foyer.
I would love it if you could just walk from the front door to an outdoor area, through the kitchen, living area to outdoors without having to go downstairs to the backyard. Because we have a nice big flat backyard.
Got it.
This is historically the master bedroom, but it grew up being my bedroom because my parents made their master downstairs.
Okay. I didn't expect a flat backyard.
Yeah.
They were smart in how they laid out the house. The house acts like a retaining wall.
Right.
To your backyard.
Yeah.
Come on over to my dry erase board. Say goodbye to Audrey's house. This is the natural slope of the land from the right side of Katelyn and Zack's house. Here at the bottom you can see there is a creek with pink water in it. The front of the house is on the upside of the hill, the back of the house is on the lower side of the hill. They also have a front porch. So because the house is built into the hill, it actually creates a flat backyard behind the house, whereas otherwise there would actually be dirt higher than their current backyard. So in this way, the house acts like a retaining wall.
This is what has always been like a guest room.
Okay.
And there's a couple closets, and it kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll come back to this, but I'm thinking a screen-in porch off of somewhere in this area. But yeah.
So we're thinking major floor plan reconfiguration.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Okay. I did not know that was coming. I knew that we were going to renovate their house, but renovate can mean all sorts of different things to all sorts of different people. To some people it means painting and refinishing the floors. Not here. We are gutting the interior of the house in order to completely reconfigure it, and we're adding a screen-in porch out the back, if not more.
This has always been the den living area. We never used that formal living area upstairs. So I would love like a kind of 2 living areas. One's for one-day adults and then one for kids. That's not so high traffic. I guess we could step out here.
Yeah, let's go so I can see the back of the house.
Okay.
All right.
So one of our ideas is like punching out a wall on either end or maybe somewhere in the middle and doing a really big screened-in porch.
I love it when someone says punching out a wall, because that tells me they're not scared to do it and they're expecting to do it. That's a good sign for us. What's your dream that you don't get to have?
Just like, I want it so that the kitchen and the living area, this is truly why I loved your website. Not only did Joe say you had really think outside the box ideas, but I think it's your lake house and where you come in and then you go into the living area. And that's what I love.
I'll show you a little bit of Nancy's lake house. Also on a slope, you enter Nancy's lake house through the upstairs foyer, which overlooks a view of the lake and the common areas below on the main level. There's a kitchen on the left, a living room on the right, and a dining room bump out in between. All of these spaces are very open to that upstairs foyer.
I don't know if it would be like really feasible in this house, but I was like, that is kind of ideal because I just would love it if you could have guests come in and have a big open living area, but it also be open to the backyard. You know?
This is exciting because it's going to
It is
require
really
some
exciting. I love it.
creative thinking,
Yeah.
which I love. That's what I want. All right, good.
Zach really wants a garage, but we're thinking about like either later on or unless we have any bright ideas now, just adding it at the end of the driveway, like a separate garage.
Okay.
Heads up, the owner of the home's coming in.
Oh, he'll have plenty of ideas, my dad.
Oh, good.
Prepare yourself.
All right.
Okay.
Dad,
Yeah. Caitlin's dad had no idea we were going to be there.
this is Mitch and Nancy and Zach.
Hey,
Hi
hey
there.
y'all.
I'm Mitch.
Hey.
Jim, good
Nice
to meet you.
Jim.
Hi, Jim and Nancy.
Nancy, my pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
And the videographer, Zach. Yeah, all right, nice to meet you guys.
We're about to go back into your bedroom.
Well, hustle up. I'm going to change clothes and leave. Hustle up. Y'all take
All right.
I think it's like the creepiest corner of the house because there's like bushes right there and it's just, I've always found it kind of creepy. I guess I don't find it creepy as much anymore. It's just more the ceiling thing. I really would like something that has raised ceilings maybe in the master so we can keep our canopy bed. I
The
know
house
Yeah.
we just moved from had like trade ceilings and she really likes it.
I sure hope they intend to have the owner suite upstairs where we can easily raise that ceiling. I have tons of questions for you.
Okay.
All right.
Lots of questions. Okay.
Believe it or not, this is a real Christmas tree that we used one year and then we planted it.
What?
Yeah, well they didn't cut it. It wasn't like a cut one, but like they got one with the roots still on it. So it's a real Christmas tree.
I think it'd be cool to have like a, not necessarily a double door, but kind of a big entryway. And then, you know, most of this would be, when you walk in, would be steps going up here.
Okay.
Not necessarily a closet, but somewhere to hang your coat and put your shoes.
Yes.
And then laundry closet kind of tucked away.
I
out
would
of the way.
definitely put laundry / mudroom or whatever
right.
happens down here. I think that's ideal.
All right, good.
I like that.
We've thought of a million plans, and what we've come up with the most recently would be taking away 2/3 and just kind of really opening it up and keeping the kitchen essentially where it is, but I want a big island, make it a lot bigger. And that way it'll open up to the back side too to get a lot of light in. And just kind of making this one big living area, kitchen, and then sort of dining room, but I'm not huge on like a really big dining room.
Okay.
And then the other third of it, as in what is now the formal living room and my bedroom back in the corner, we were thinking that could be the master. And then downstairs, taking away the garage, and you know, we'd really like, we said 4 bedrooms? Yeah, so like 2 eventual kids' bedrooms, a guest bedroom, and then a master. One thing we think about this house is that there's enough room.
I love that. Yeah, I agree. The house is definitely big enough to fit all the things that you want to fit in.
Right.
So many people's first inclination is to expand their house, make it bigger, more. But in this case, instead, we're gonna gut what's already there and really tailor it to fit Katelyn and Zack.
Do you have any questions?
Oh, yes.
I already have your design up.
He probably does.
Tell me about your dream kitchen.
Can I show you pictures?
Yeah. Here's Katelyn's Pinterest board. Look for similarities between these photos. I am seeing a ton of windows, big islands with seating, white cabinets, wood floors, a lot of consistency here. Bam. What about upper cabinets? Do you like to have a lot of upper cabinets, or would you rather have less and have more windows?
This house is so dark, I think I'm going to want to do whatever's the brightest
Okay.
option. I don't have to have a lot of top shelves. If it could be all windows, that'd be good as long as there's enough space.
I saw 1 or 2 examples, all windows. And then, yeah, the island was tons of cabinets.
Did you like that?
Yeah, that was cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice you two like a lot of the same things. That'll make it easier to design a house.
Mm-hmm.
That suits you both. Surprise! Partners don't always agree. And it's really nice for me when they do, especially on something as pivotal as windows in a kitchen. Oftentimes we get one partner wanting a lot of upper cabinets and the other partner wanting a lot of windows. And it's tough to give them both, particularly when we're opening up a kitchen to other rooms and we don't have as many walls to work with. What about pantry space?
A walk-in would be nice. We've never had one of those growing up, and neither did he, so I'm not like set on it.
A lot of times when people get rid of upper cabinets and have more windows for light, they'll have a bigger pantry. Just so you can walk in and reach more things.
That makes sense.
We're gonna switch gears because I have a lot more questions to ask. I've heard that you kind of like this connection from indoors to outdoors. That totally makes sense to me. Is that more because you want to feel while you're in your house like you're connected to outdoors, or because you actually intend to spend quite a bit of time outdoors? I asked this question because it's a lot of work to connect an upstairs entryway to a downstairs backyard with an open effect. It usually means that we're going to be losing valuable square feet on that main upper level in order to have openness to downstairs. So I'm trying to understand exactly how they want to connect with the outdoors.
That's something I really don't know, and that's kind of like what I'm struggling with.
My opinion is, like, I grew up in the country with a yard a lot bigger than this, and I don't need to be. I prefer, you know, in the house with the windows open, the door open, and kind of sit on the porch. I'm fine. I don't need to be out in the yard.
I just kind of hate not to use the big flat yard, like to have it right there. But I mean, it's down there if we ever need it.
The yard will be there when there's kids and throwing the ball, or if people do come over and we're at a fire pit, that's fine. But as far as like living, I want to keep my feet off the ground. You know, that's more our style. Don't you think?
Well, yeah.
I got it. This is good. I'm hearing both sides. We could also consider having your screen and porch at this level with the, you know, high ceiling and the fireplace and all that. And then when you go out of the screen and porch, you go down like 5 or 6 steps to a large deck. And you could have grilling there, and that could be like picnic tables, birthday parties, and then you just have a few more steps to go down to get to the yard.
I like what you just said. A screen and porch, a few steps to a deck area, and then it's a more natural transition off the deck into a yard, not walking out a flight of steps.
In addition to that intermediate deck kind of splitting the difference between the 2 levels, it allows much better sight lines from the upstairs common rooms, because you see less deck boards when you look out the window, and you see more of that backyard below. I have a fun question now. Individually, if you were to imagine yourself in a perfect spot in a house where you feel comfortable, and you're like, this is what I want home to be.
I think I always think of those big rooms that are just like all glass, and then, you know, like kind of like a sunroom, and but I don't really want a sunroom, with a big, just a cozy couch like our sectional, leading into a nice kitchen.
That's good. I like how you compounded the spot. Cool. And how would you feel in that spot?
Like it was a Saturday or Sunday and you got nothing to do and just kind of relaxing. Not too dark in there.
Open, bright, light. I want to know more about it, but I'm going to move on to Zach for now.
Anytime at night, like coming home from work, I can just see like a living room with like a fireplace right there, some sort of sunroom back here with not a sunroom, but a screened-in porch, and like me sitting in my chair with the fire going, TV on.
Yeah.
You know, to see all that, the inside and outside together kind of thing, you know?
Cool.
Yeah.
Those are good answers.
A lot of people have told us we should live here and see what we want, since I mean, we literally moved in last week. But on one hand, I've lived here my whole life, but I also see, like, now that I'm an adult and I know this is going to be my house forever, I see the value in that. But I mean, we've just been thinking about it so heavily for so long.
You're thinking this is a forever house? Okay. Cool. Good to know.
Yeah.
Whoa. Game changer. This is their forever house? They're gonna be here for decades? That is way different than an investment property. It's the opposite. This is not about resale, so instead of focusing on what other buyers might like in the future or what's generally accepted, this is about Katelyn and Zack. Even more than in normal design situations, I need to tune in to them. How do they think? How do they feel? How do they want to live? These are all huge questions and central to the success of the design. So we gotta get it right.
Yeah.
Okay. Literally, years from now, they're gonna look back on our conversations and say, I wish we had done this, or I'm so glad we did this, or why didn't Mitch ask this, or I'm so glad Mitch asked this. The stakes are up. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about our process.
Okay.
We design in 3D from the beginning. That's how I think, that's how I draw on my computer. And so you're able to see the house and different options for the house before we ever break ground. It'll feel like you're walking through a house.
Right.
I can show you actually. I'll show you Nancy's lake house because you've seen
Oh.
photos of it. So then you go down these stairs. You're in the dining room. One of the big things that Nancy mentioned at our first meeting, she said, well, when you're at the kitchen island, I don't want anyone's back to be to the lake. I want everyone to be able to see the lake. And then off of this, we did a breakfast pantry, as we call it. So guests can kind of do their own thing in the morning and not get in the way of the chef. And it also hides all these small appliances from view. Because a lot of times when you have an open concept kitchen, you don't want to see toasters and stuff everywhere. And Nancy has 3 baskets up here: oatmeal, liquor, and candy.
Yeah.
3 labels.
Crates.
They're crates.
It's the
Yeah.
food pyramid.
And then up high we have the master bedroom with its own balcony. master suite, I should say, and then 2 guest suites on this side. So one has a balcony to the lake, and there's actually a river on the other side across the street.
Oh wow.
And so that's why the front of the house has,
Big open too.
yeah,
Huh,
big and
cool.
open. These are not balconies you can walk out on, but
Sure.
because the balcony is there, you're able to open the doors.
Right.
Yeah, and that's Nancy's tub.
Nice.
You've probably seen that. That's
Yeah,
one of the
the-
opening photos on the website.
And yeah, it is.
It's
that
a happy
big.
place.
This is actually a really efficient bathroom. It looks super big and open in the photo, but I'll show you it's not because we were still working on a budget.
We were.
So right there is the toilet room.
Mhm.
There's plenty of room here to get to the vanity. It doesn't feel tight, but
Yeah,
it's
right.
also, this isn't a big opulent bathroom, and there's just a shower right there.
That is a cool setup for a bathroom.
I want to make sure you get bang for your buck with your initial consultation, so I'm going to throw out some ideas. I love the idea of potentially putting the kitchen in that corner, where it has an island that then opens to a big living room here.
Uh-huh.
So then you feel connected to the backyard when you're in the kitchen. You could have, doors or windows that open, a lot of light. And that creates this kind of space oriented this way, which would also work with vaulting the ceiling because of the existing roof line of the house. And if your kitchen is faced this way, but your ceiling's vaulted this way, it's going to feel kind of like there's this big plane
Yeah.
that's
yeah.
like pushing
Yeah.
down on you.
Right.
Whereas instead, if you face this way, it feels open and it gives you that effect you want.
Yeah.
That also gives you the ability to put stairs somewhere over here.
Yeah.
Potentially kind of open to the kitchen. I'm not sure about that yet. But I like the idea of stairs that have a window in them, that don't feel dank and dark, that
Yeah.
feel, because you have so much space downstairs, you want to connect it in a way where people want to go down the stairs.
Right.
So I would make them a little bit wider, and I would include a window and maybe have a landing halfway. And I love the master being upstairs over there. I love the idea of the master having a balcony, or whether one you step out on or even a Juliet balcony, so that you can open doors and feel like you're connected to outside. Do you want to feel more connected to the outdoors when you're in your bedroom or when you're in your bathroom?
What do you think?
I think bathroom. If I'm in the bedroom at night, I want all the windows closed. I want it dark with just the TV, and I want to feel like it's just me and her laying there.
Zach's description for the bedroom is almost the opposite of Katelyn's description for the kitchen. She wants windows, she wants it bright, she wants a lot of light, and Zach wants it to be cave-like. He wants it to be dark and private in the bedroom. And that's going to create a really great sense of tension in the house, between masculine and feminine in their case, between open and cozy, between private and exposed, and that's going to make for a very dynamic house. And in order to make the house feel cohesive and consistent room to room, we'll look at other elements that can be repeated, like texture and color, architectural details, finishes, to pull it all together despite the difference. How much is resale a consideration with this whole project? Sounds like it's your forever home.
I mean, I kind of wonder one day, as awesome as we make this house, is it going to be a tear down anyway just because it is older?
Like coming in, there are 3 that they torn down and built huge ones, and then
Yes.
across the street they're about
Yeah.
to move this house and they're putting 2 there.
I think the trend of the future is going to be smaller houses.
Really?
I think builders are still trying to capitalize on people who want huge houses, but I don't think people in our generation and younger want a ton of house to maintain,
Yeah.
Yeah.
keep up with. Some of them do, but I think it gets old quickly.
That's a good point. This is plenty house.
It is plenty
Especially
of
once
house.
you take away the garage.
Well, and particularly if the space is designed in a functional way.
Right.
And
Right.
I think that's what really draws people in, and that gives people the oohs and ahs when they see a home, is how functional the space is and how it's laid out.
Yeah.
Which Mitch mastered for us at the lake, because that was one of the things that we wanted. We wanted to keep our footprint to a minimum that we had to for the neighborhood. Here he comes and he flips the whole floor plan and flips everybody out. It was awesome.
People think it's huge
Right.
Yeah.
because it lives
Right.
differently.
This is just stuff we totally don't know.
Yeah,
like,
we
how
don't.
much would it save us to keep the same utilities where they are?
I think it's totally worth the additional
Right.
cost. I mean, you're paying for new cabinets, new countertop, new appliances.
Right,
You're
yeah.
buying
Yeah.
so much that's new to allow those rough-in changes to hold you back. I think would be a mistake. Unless if this is the ideal area, by all means, let's keep it here.
Yeah.
But I don't think it is. I think you want to be connected at your sink to your backyard more than looking out the front yard
Right.
at the big Christmas tree. Beautiful as it is.
Yeah. And so, what would be like right here?
So if you have a more open concept kitchen with less uppers, then we kind of put some of that storage space away from your view.
I love your idea so far. Sounds good.
Yeah, I agree.
Great. Let all this stuff roll around in your heads. Think about it. Thanks for having us over
Thanks
and
for
letting
coming.
us bring Zach.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys get to be in the movie.
Yeah,
The
cool.
movie. Yay. All right.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Okay, cut. I think we're good. Thanks for joining another field trip. If you're interested in hearing more about the future of house sizes, you can watch the 8th question of the Launch Talk Q&A, asked by Joe the Builder. It's the McMansion question. See you next time.